Hi everybody, my name is Lucas Jones and I will be going over disaster management in Estonia. A brief overview of Estonia. The capital is Tallinn. There are 1.3 million individuals who live in the country. It has a total land area of roughly 16,000 square miles. This puts Florida as 3 times bigger than Estonia. Here is a picture of that for your reference. It was named most advanced digital society in the world due to the lifestyle that they live. Their government uses an AI strategy, and everything is online, from living, voting, health, banking, using cryptocurrency, all of the above. In terms of implementation for emergency management, Estonia uses a decentralized bottom up approach. There are 3 levels: local, regional, and country or national. At the local level, there is a council who is chaired by the mayor for that city or that local industry. Regional, there are 15 counties in Estonia. Each county has a governor. And at the country/national level, the Ministry of Interior is the highest authority responsible for emergency management and disasters. And their focus is on policy formation and executing civil security procedure. Similar to the United States, each level has to be exhausted before moving to the next. This also includes the military, who is only used as a last resort. Here is a picture of all the counties in Estonia so that you can see how many players are at the table. In terms of rationale and history, Estonia suffers mostly from significant or extreme storm conditions, such as snowstorms. There are a few major incidents in Estonian history, however, I have provided a few. In 1994, the MS Estonia sunk in the Baltic Sea. It was one of the worst maritime disasters, with over 850 people who died as a result. In 2005, the Copter Line Flight 103 crashed in the Tallinn Bay with 14 passengers on board, all of which who died as well. In 2005, arguably the most influential in policy is Cyclone Gundron. Although it didn't strike Estonia directly, it did strike the Baltic Sea region. It caused significant storm surge for a couple counties, reaching up to 275 centimeters, and there was significant flooding throughout. It also caused $2.2 billion US dollars in recovery efforts. In Estonia, the main framework for civil protection and emergencies, as well as disaster hazards and planning, has 3 documents. The first being the Emergency Act of Estonia. It is the main framework for emergency management. It coordinates, ranks, and directs all functions of the government. The Rescue Act of Estonia provides functions and rights for rescue services. And lastly, the National Security Concept of Estonia goes over security policies and their functions as a technological society. As a result, Estonian contingency plans are risk-based. Some potential hazards include flooding, wildlife, severe weather, or extreme conditions such as winter storms, infectious disease and radiation. Although Estonia does not use nuclear power plants, there are other countries in the Baltic region which do. And maritime disasters. As we briefly talked about, Estonia has a pretty large coast, and that makes it vulnerable to these as well. Emergency management participants in Estonia include the Ministry of Interior, the Estonian Rescue Board, who is a direct subordinate of the Ministry of Interior. Their purpose is to maintain a secure environment, anticipate threats, and respond to emergency and hazardous events. Likewise, the Estonian Response Center, their 112 operator, most similar to our 911 operator, is another direct subordinate of the Ministry of Interior, and their role is to be the first line of help in emergency situations. Their job is to dispatch rescue services to the emergency. There are 4 emergency response centers located throughout the entire country in Tallinn, Tartu, Jõhvi, and Pärnu. The last participant is the Estonian Defense Forces, who are utilized as a last result. Estonia also has membership in a number of different international IGOs, the first being the EU, NATO, and the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. Estonia has yet to utilize their international cooperation in terms of assistance necessary. However, they do maintain their multilateral agreements with these organizations. Obstacles to emergency management. In Estonia, there are 3 obstacles. The first is climate change. Due to the rise in sea level, natural hazards are likely to increase in severity, specifically coastal flooding. The second is water scarcity. The World Resource Institute estimates a water crisis in Estonia as soon as 2040. It is ranked 36 in terms of countries with water stress issues, and for perspective, only Spain and Greece out of the European countries are worse off. The last is cybersecurity threats. Estonia is uniquely positioned in terms of technology-based society. This makes it an attractive target for threats and attacks due to their housing of HQs for NATO and the EU, as well as their other cyber capabilities. here are my references. Thank you for listening to my presentation.